Hello and welcome. Today we'll look at how to solve linear equations with one variable. Let's begin. So, what do we mean by solution for an equation? Let's begin from there. Well, when we have an equation written, for example, x plus 3 is equal to negative 2. We don't know the value of x, and to know the value of x, we have to solve for x. So, the value of x that satisfies this equation, in other words, the value of x that makes the right side to be equal to the left side, is what we call the solution. So, the solution of an equation is the value of x that satisfies the equation in a way that both sides of the equation are equal. So linear equation contains one or more variables, but in this lesson we're going to focus on a single variable. So how do we solve linear equations that have a single variable? Let's say we have an equation x plus 8 is equal to let's say 16. How do we find the value of x? Or x plus 3 is equal to negative 2. How do we find the value of x? That's what we are looking at. There is a special method that we use in algebra called the balanced method. This method helps us to keep everything in check so that we arrive at the correct answer. So what is this balanced method? So now let's use our example. Let's say x plus 3 is equal to 8. So the balance method says that whatever you do, whatever math operation you do on the left hand side, you must also do the same on the right hand side. Okay? So if you add a number to the left hand side, you also must add the same number to the right hand side. That way the equation is balanced. Because you don't want to do something to the left hand and forget to do it to the right hand, then it makes the equation to become unbalanced, and whatever answer or solution that you obtain becomes is not valid. So therefore, what do we do? So the next step is, after we know what balance method says, the next thing is that how do we know what we should do? Well, if you have an addition, the opposite of addition is what? Is subtraction. If you have a multiplication, the opposite of multiplication is a division. So we are going to need this rule to help us, particularly the addition and the subtraction. Okay, so when you have a number on a side of the equation that you want to get rid of, so you have to look at the sign of that number, and then you're going to use the same number but with a different sign. Okay, for example, I want to get rid of plus 3 that is found on the left side of this equation. So we have a plus 3 here. So for me to get rid of plus 3, I need to subtract 3. So if I have a negative 3 there, for me to get rid of that negative 3, I need to add a plus 3. Okay, so that's the simple rule. So now I want to eliminate the 3 on this side, so that all I will have left there is x, because I'm trying to find the solution for x. So to eliminate 3, I need to subtract 3. So I'm going to subtract 3 from this side, so it's going to be minus 3. But remember, the balance method says whatever you do to one side of the equation, you must also do to the other side of the equation. So we're going to subtract also 3 from the other side of the equation. This way it is balanced. So the next thing is, you want to rewrite the equation. This becomes x plus 3 minus 3 is equal to 8 minus 3. Well, many people jump this step, but you can also jump it once you have mastered it. So what is 3 minus 3? That's 0. So x plus 0 is equal to 8 minus 3, that is 5. But we don't write 0 in algebra, so we just say x is equal to 5. So now we know the value of x. This value of x is the solution for this algebraic equation. Now let's try our hands on some examples. Solve for x. 2x minus 5 is equal to 19. Okay, so how do we go about this? Well, we're going to use the balance method just that we learned just now to solve this. You want to pause the video and try your hands on this. Okay, now that you have tried your hands on it, let's us do it together. So we have 2x minus 5 is equal to 19. If we look at the left hand side, the terms there are not like terms. You can't subtract 5 from 2x, but you can. 19 and 5 are like terms, and so you can work with that, isn't it? So we want to see a way by which you can move 5 to the right hand side. But to move 5 to the right hand side, we have to eliminate 5 from the left hand side. So, and we use the balance method. So we have a negative 5 here. To eliminate negative 5 from the left hand side, we need to add positive 5. We need to add 5, okay? So we're going to add 5. So this is going to be plus 5. And then whatever you do to the left hand, you also do to the right hand. So plus 5, okay? So this becomes 2x minus 5 plus 5 is equal to 19 plus 5, okay? So negative 5 and plus 5 gives you value of 0, so this becomes 2x. Remember, we don't write 0. 2x is equal to 19 plus 5, that gives us a value of 24. Okay, now this is another thing that we need to learn. Here, what we have here is what? 2x, okay? 2 times x, that is what 2x is. So when you have multiplication is the opposite of what? Division. So if you have multiplication, for you to reduce that term to the smallest value, you need to do a division. For example, multiplication here involves two terms. There's a constant term or coefficient here, which is 2, and then we have an algebraic variable, which is x, so it's 2 times x. So we have to divide. If we only want x to be left, we have to divide by the coefficient, which is 2, right? So we're going to divide 2x by its coefficient, okay? So the coefficient here is 2. So because we want to eliminate the 2, so to eliminate the 2, we divide. The reason why we divide is because the relationship here is that of multiplication. Now, if the relationship is that of addition or subtraction, if it's addition, then we subtract. If it's subtraction, then we add. Well, here the relationship is that of multiplication. So to separate 2 from x, we need to divide by 2. So we divide this side by 2. We also divide this side by 2. Remember, whatever you do to one side of the equation, you also do to the second side of the equation. So 2x divided by 2 leaves us with the value of x, because the 2's cancel out. And then 24 divided by 2. Well, 2 goes through 24 12 times, because 2 times 12 is 24. So x is equal to 12. So therefore, 12 is the solution for this equation. 2x minus 5 is equal to 19. Solve for x if 3 minus 2x is equal to 24. Okay, here 2x has a negative sign in front of it, while 3 has a positive sign, although the positive sign is not written. So we see that 3 and 24 are alike, and so we can work with them. So but 3 is on the left hand while 24 is on the right hand, so we have to get 3 to the right hand side of the equation. And how do we do that? Because it's a plus 3, we have to subtract 3. So this is going to be minus 3. Remember, you do to the other side minus 3, okay? So 3 minus 3 gives us 0, so this is going to be negative 2x is equal to 24 minus 3 will give us what? 21, okay? That's 21. So now, how do we find the value of x? Remember, negative 2x is actually negative multiplied by 2 multiplied by x. So here, we want to eliminate two things. We only want x to be left there, so we want to eliminate the negative sign. We also want to eliminate the number 2. So and we know the relationship between these three things, it's one of multiplication. So if it's a multiplication, how do you reverse it? Well, by division. So we're going to divide by the two things that we want to eliminate, which is negative and the 2. So we're going to divide by negative 2, and also whatever you do to the left hand, you do to the right hand, so negative 2. So negative 2 and negative 2 cancels out, so we have x is equal to what? 21 divided by negative 2. Okay, so x therefore will be equal to negative 21 over 2. So how many times does 2 go through 21? So that's going to be negative 10. Then we are left with 1 over 2. So x, the value of x, or the solution for x in this equation, is negative 10 and a half. So next up is solve for x, where 4x plus 8 is equal to 20. Okay, so what do? We have a plus 8 here. To eliminate it, we have to subtract 8. So we're going to subtract 8, and we're going to subtract 8 from the other side as well. So what we have is what? 4x is left here, because plus 8 minus 8 gives us 0. And 20 minus 8 gives us what? 12. So what next? We want to divide, because we want to only have x left on the left side. We want to divide both sides by 4. So you divide 4x by 4. You also divide 12 by 4. So what is x? X is equal to 12 divided by 4, that is 3. So the solution for the equation is x is equal to 3. Solve for x if 12 minus 2x is equal to 10. Okay, so we want to, because this is plus 12, we want to subtract 12. Okay, subtract 12, and then we also subtract 12 from this side. So what do we have? It's negative 2x is equal to 10 minus 12, that's negative 2. Okay, now we only want to have x left on the left side, so we're going to divide negative 2x by negative 2. Okay, negative 2, and we also divide the other side by negative 2. Okay, the negative 2 cancels out on this side, so we have x, and then the negative 2's cancels out on this side, so leaving us with 1. So therefore x is equal to 1. So the balance method requires you to add or subtract whatever you remove from the left hand side, to also do that to the right hand side. That way you keep the equation balanced. Remember, you eliminate the negative sign by dividing both sides by negative 1, and always try to check your answers. That's it on linear equations part 3. Thank you for watching.